Hi, and welcome to this module. Slightly unusual, but it's on discipline and etiquette. Oh, going to get all heavy. No, we're not. We're going to do this quite light, but there's quite a lot of information to go through. I've got about 3 pages. So now is a good time if you want to pause, get yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, sit down. Don't worry about writing anything down because we're going to put this in a download section and you'll be able to download all the information that I'm going to talk about. I just thought I'd rather talk about it because I can give you a little bit more feel about how it should be done. And first of all, this is not my job to tell you about discipline and the etiquette in the dojo. This is the job of the black belts in the dojo, not the sensei's job. However, in the light of current pandemic, and I'm doing a lot of stuff on my own here, and I thought, well, we'll slip this module in because I'm noticing on some of the information coming through, some of the requests, I think we just need to add some etiquette, Japanese etiquette in. And it is Japanese etiquette. You're learning Japanese karate. This is not English, European, Western karate. It's Japanese karate, and it's really important to remember that. You've got to look at where we come from. And so we're taking this from ancient Japan, going back hundreds of years when the samurai roamed Japan, and the emperor had armies of samurai, and all the lords had samurai. And to make a mistake in etiquette and discipline in those days would cost you your life. If the samurai rode through the village and you didn't bow deep enough, you'd be executed. Now, you'd be pleased to know that we don't adopt that policy nowadays at Kenshinkai, which is really good because our membership would go down. Okay, but however, we still need to maintain discipline and etiquette, and this is the beauty of karate that you're learning. Many clubs don't teach this because they don't know it. And I'll explain a little bit more about Western clubs as we go through bits and pieces. I'm going to need my glasses to read this, so excuse me. And again, we're just going to have this is just quite an informal chat, but hopefully you get the gist of what I'm trying to come across. Okay, and you can see the etiquette in karate goes back, as I say, hundreds of years, and you can see this quite clearly on some points. If you go back hundreds of years and you look where the emperor used to live in the Golden Palace, which is a golden palace built on a lake, with only one entrance in, and him and his family would occupy the top floor. On the next floor down, you would have a dozen of the top swordsmen in Japan. So trying to get to the emperor would be almost impossible. On the next floor down, you'd probably have 50 of the next best swordsmen, all samurai, who were there to protect the ones above. And on the ground floor, you might have 100 samurai. So if someone wanted to kill the emperor, they'd have to hire an army of ninjas, and they'd have a hell of a fight getting to the emperor. Now, that's a long time ago, but we've carried this forward, and you'll see it in some dojos, old-fashioned Japanese dojos as we are, and where you'll see the sensei at the front of the class. And when he kneels, he turns his back to the class. Now, this is a vulnerable point, so then you normally have the 3rd, 4th, and 5th dans kneeling in behind him. So they're there for his protection. In a very big club, then you'll have a line of black belts lined up next, and finally you'll have all the students. So if any of you guys fancy trying to get to the sensei to have a go at him, you've got to battle your way through the black belts, and they get higher and higher as you go through. This is obviously, this is where it's taken from. You know, and so, and it's interesting to know these bits and pieces. Right, what have we got? Let's start from the beginning. Okay. First of all, men and women in Japanese Shotokan Karate are treated equal. The ladies, you spar with men, and your partner, and you'll train with men, because if you're going to get attacked, it's unlikely you're going to get attacked by a woman on the street. It's more likely to be a man. So if you learn to train against men, it's going to make you a lot stronger. And a couple of examples with this is one is a young girl and very small girl, Christina, who I used to train many years ago, and she trained fanatical, and she would not train in the women's categories in competition. She just wanted to train with the men and fight with the men. And at the European Championships, she was very small and petite. She would enter the women's competition, she entered the men's, she got her nose broken, I think 5 times, but she became the European champion, men's champion, not in the ladies. And this is how it should be. Men and women train exactly the same. You're not going to get a broken nose, relax. But this is going back a long time ago. And the second one is, which is closer to home, is my wife, Julie. She's a black belt second dan. She doesn't train anymore, not at the moment, but I think we can get her back training. That's one of the goals. She's a black belt second dan, ex-Essex champion, fighting champion. But when she started training with us, there's very few women actually in the dojo, and so she trained with the men, and we had about 18 black belt instructors, and she had to fight with all the same as us, but she grew up that way, and it makes it very, very tough. So men and women are treated equal, and you fight exactly the same. There's no discretion for ladies in the dojo. The same for children. Obviously children and adults don't mix and don't fight together, but the discipline and the rules and the etiquette apply to children the same as they do adults. This is not a playground, it's not a place to come and babysitting service. You know, this is a Japanese karate dojo. When our children walk into this dojo, there's no talking. There's absolute silence. The only thing they do is allow us is to ask a question or say us, and it's the discipline. If children don't have that discipline, they're not going to learn. If they don't instill the discipline into them at an early stage, they'll never learn Japanese karate properly. And trust me, kids love this stuff. Absolutely love the discipline. And the harder you are on them in the discipline, the more they will love it. I'll show you one time, we'll do some video when we can get back into it, of some of our club members, some of our kids, and you watch their discipline. It's brilliant. Google young Japanese karate children and you see them and the discipline, and this is possible for everyone's child is the same. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. Just do it really slowly. Small pocket bites with nice rewards. Adults don't need rewards, but children do. Okay, let's go through some rules. Some of these are a little bit awkward because, in fact, most of them it's about me, you know, and it's the sensei at your dojo, so it's a little bit awkward, but I'm not worried about it if you're not. Just take it on board. Is imagine that someone else is telling you this, and we're just going to take it a little bit easy. Okay, and it says, I say you can download this. It says the following guide is only on behavior and etiquette attending a traditional Shotokan Karate club. Western clubs may or may not adopt these guidelines, but it's important for all Kenshin-kai students to adopt them so you'll be comfortable walking into a Japanese dojo. This is the main thing. You can never ever be scared about going to a club anywhere in the world, because if it's a good quality Japanese one, you can walk in, you can speak the language, no matter what language it is, because it's all in Japanese. Okay, and the training will be the same and you'll be embraced and welcomed the same.